At 34 years old, I allowed my 28-year-old sister, Yuli, to move in with me a few months ago because she was in a terrible financial situation. She had lost her job due to her company shutting down, and shortly after, she became seriously ill from the West Nile virus. After discussing it with my parents, I decided to let her stay with me for a few weeks to help her recover and save on rent since she couldn't work for a while. She was at her lowest point, and I was the one who stepped up to help her. But how did she repay me? By having an affair with my husband. A couple of days ago, Yuli asked my husband and me to sit down because she had something important to tell us. I thought she was finally going to move out since she had been recovering well. Instead, she dropped a bombshell. She and my husband had been having an affair for weeks, and she was now pregnant with his child. I was furious but kept my composure. I calmly told her I wasn't leaving the house because it was my property. If anyone had to leave, it would be her and my unfaithful husband. I told them they could start their happy family somewhere else because I was filing for divorce and never wanted to see them again. My husband and I have been together for 8 years, married for the last 5. A few months after we got married, I took a risk and started my own business, which thankfully has been very successful. We decided that my husband could stay home and focus on his writing, something he enjoyed as a hobby. For the past 4 years, he's been working on his novel and taking care of the house. We don't have kids, so he doesn't have much to do. The property and everything else are technically mine because I bought it, and we both thought it was fair that I owned everything. After Yuli found out that my husband didn't actually own anything and had lied to her, she started losing it. She called him a liar and a fraud. It was entertaining to watch her freak out, but I just wanted both of them out of my house. I intervened, told them to stop yelling, and ordered them to leave immediately. My husband, knowing he had no way out of this, quietly went to pack his things. Yuli, on the other hand, begged me on her knees, saying she would do anything to fix what had happened and that she needed a place to stay. She even had the nerve to say that I couldn't kick out a pregnant woman, especially since the baby would be my nephew. That's when I lost it. I grabbed her arm, forced her to stand up, and physically pushed her out the door. I was rough, but I didn't care. I was furious that she had the audacity to call us family after what she did. A few minutes later, I threw her bags out too and told her to leave or I'd call the police. She cried on the porch for about an hour after my husband left, but I put on my headphones and ignored her. That same night, I spoke to my lawyer and filed for divorce. The next day, my parents called me, saying what I had done was horrible. They defended Yuli, saying she was going through a lot and that I shouldn't have kicked her out, especially since she was pregnant. I was shocked. My parents have always treated Yuli and me equally, but now they were taking her side. They even suggested that my husband had seduced her and that it wasn't entirely her fault. I stood my ground. I told them I had every right to kick her out because she chose to have an affair with my husband. It didn't matter if she was pregnant or not. What she did was disgusting. I reminded them that she was ready to kick me out when she thought the house belonged to my husband. I see this as poetic justice. But my parents kept insisting that I was being too harsh. I got tired of listening to them and hung up. It was clear they weren't going to let this go, and we haven't spoken since. Do you think I was wrong to kick my pregnant sister out of the house? Some people think kicking a pregnant woman out of my house is horrible, but I couldn't let her live under my roof after what she did. Luckily, most people think I did the right thing. I've blocked my parents, and emotionally, I'm devastated. My lawyer and I filed for divorce, and I'm preparing for the process. I'm trying to stay strong, but it's hard. My husband contacted me after being served the divorce papers. He said he wouldn't dispute the divorce and admitted that he lied to Yuli to impress her. He apologized, but I blocked him without responding. I'm done with him. My parents showed up at my house unannounced, trying to convince me to forgive Yuli. I told them I didn't want to hear it and that they needed to apologize if they wanted to stay. They didn't, so I kicked them out. My mom was crying, and my dad said he never wanted to speak to me again. I don't care. They've disappointed me. It's been a month since I last updated. I haven't been in contact with my family or my ex-husband. My life is slowly getting back on track, and I'm focusing on protecting my peace. Yuli lost the pregnancy and has been blaming me for it, saying it was due to the stress I caused her. My parents are also blaming me, but I don't care. If she cared about her pregnancy, she shouldn't have slept with my husband. My ex-husband contacted me to tell me that Yuli was never actually pregnant. He asked for proof multiple times, but she always avoided it. There's no evidence of a pregnancy or a miscarriage. She just made it up. My parents have tried to reach out to repair our relationship, but it's too late. They've lost me, and Yuli has lost everything. In the end, my sister lost a sister, a home, and my help by sleeping with my husband and faking a pregnancy. My parents lost a daughter by choosing to believe her lies. As for me, I'm finally finding peace and moving on with my life.